Wolverine likes to be left alone a lot of the time, so he wanders off to bars in the middle of nowhere where no one knows that he's there. Well, he's currently dealing with vampires, isn't he? So what's out there? And what if the vampires get wind of where he's at? You have found yourself at the Comicstorian channel, where I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues, and I break them down into digestible bites, giving you back a synopsis of the storyline, dramatically reading out lines and portions of it, and giving you some of the context. If you want to get more of it, go to your local store, buy these issues, or go to your digital outlet and get these issues, or just watch this and pick up the next issue. Support the industry by buying these particular issues, guys. Now today we're going to be doing Wolverine issues 4 and 5, which leave on a bit of a cliffhanger, but it is going to pick up where we last left off. Wolverine is still dealing with those vampires chasing him down, but now another vampire is about to get involved, one of a larger name. And if you enjoy this type of video, make sure you hit that like button and turn on your notifications to know when the next chapter of Wolverine is coming to the channel. The Quiet Council is silent as Magneto's helmet is thrown to the ground, and Wolverine tells them he's probably going to want this back. Magneto tells him that if he ever so much as... Wolverine stops him. I got you drunk and I took your helmet, whereas once you took the adamantium off of my skeleton. How about we call it even? Charles then says that they invited him here not for a lecture, but for a request. In the future, they would prefer to work cooperatively. Magneto brings his helmet to him, telling him, let the barbarian go. He is but a mindless weapon, a blunt force instrument. Charles then begins to speak to Wolverine directly in his mind. Please, when you mock our government, when you insult and embarrass Magneto, you endanger what we have worked so hard to build. Wolverine smiles. Then he probably won't like that I also used his helmet as a piss bucket. But later that night, to cool off, Wolverine heads to the middle of nowhere, Canada, where he gets himself a drink at the Red Tavern, a place where the floors are dirty with sawdust to soak up the blood and vomit and bullet holes in the walls, and teeth are in the urinal. As Wolverine walks in, the bartender tells him that a storm's about to hit, so if he's coming in, he's staying for a bit. Hope you're thirsty. Wolverine puts his change into the jukebox, telling him, I'm always thirsty. As Hank Williams Jr.'s Whiskey Bent and Hellbound begins to play, the man at the pool table asks if he's kidding. Of all the songs you picked, this crap? Wolverine sits at the bar, telling him that he plugged 20 quarters into the juke, so there's a whole lot of steaming pile of crap on his way. The man takes the pool cue and breaks it over Wolverine's head as he tells him, if my drink spilled. The bartender tells him that it's a good thing that it didn't, and Wolverine turns back to the man, breaking his nose with a headbutt. As the man stumbles into the bathroom, Wolverine asks, who was that guy? He's got a familiar stink, but I can't quite place it. A short while later, an officer runs into the bar, slamming the door behind him. Oh God, oh jeez! The bartender asks what's going on, Peterson, and Peterson tells him, I was driving along County H when I saw it. There's something eating a deer. I couldn't see what it was, but it had to have been a grizz. Hopefully it didn't follow me. The bartender tells him to relax and have a drink, and he can be on his way after the storm. So Peterson takes a seat, everyone begins to have a couple of drinks, and as Wolverine begins to look at an old woman near him, he asks her, have we met before? My memory's a bit fuzzy. Suddenly everything begins to get a bit fuzzy, and he stumbles to the toilet, and as he grabs the edge of it, he sees blood. He looks over at the next stall to see the man from before with his chest ripped out, and as he takes a closer look, he notices a tattoo, one that has been stitched onto his brain. It was Oregon, many years ago, the Brotherhood Militia. At that moment, the officer walks in, shooting him with a tranquilizer dart. As Wolverine begins to ask what the hell they think they're doing, the bartender tells him, we all know you're guilty as hell, and we know who you are. We know you're playing human. All the others don't know that you're here. You come in once or twice a week. We can shoot you, cut you, pour a swimming pool of poison down your throat, and it ain't gonna do much. Slowly, Wolverine begins to recognize some of the faces, and as he looks over at one, he tells them, you were from the Dunwich Sanitarium. You were a patient. As everyone begins to step away, Peterson asks what they're going to do. They can't kill him, and the woman says that they're going to ice him. Literally. Wolverine is then dragged into the frozen lake. And as he's going, he demands to know why they're doing this. What is going on? Bartender tells him, I used to bartend in Madripoor. A brawl broke out and I was at the center of it. A chair thrown hit my fiancée in the head and cracked her skull. Blood clot killed her a week later. Wolverine looks at the old woman. What about you? She asks him, do you remember Gorgon? Well, there was a reason that he has such a disturbing taste for older women. My dear son had what you might call mommy issues. Bartender says that there are support groups for people affected by the mutants. And when he started coming here, it wasn't hard to find people online who wanted payback on you. The silent man from before then takes out a chainsaw and cuts a square into the ice. I may have done some bad things, but I didn't kill that man from before. I don't know what ripped out his chest, but it wasn't me, and we need to stop it. As he begins to sink into the ice, freezing over very slowly, he begins to smell a very familiar smell. And that's when he sees Peterson's head thrown across the ice. If you want to live, you've got to let me go! But it's too late. The long metal tendrils of Omega Red lash out, killing everyone, and he slowly begins to walk forward. I've been following you, and you know why. Because we are the shame. We can only tolerate so much sunlight. Darkness is our truth. The tendrils reach into the ice, and Omega Red goes on telling him, I came for a drink as well, but instead of rot gut whiskey, I'm drinking pain, and your pain is delicious. But what Wolverine doesn't see is the swarm of demons flying down and a single vampire. Later, Wolverine finds his hand suspended in a block of ice, and a voice asks, You're not dead. Oh well. A drill begins to break through the ice and into Wolverine's neck, and the bit is then pulled back out as his blood begins to pour out. As the blood is collected, Dracula takes a small device connecting it to Wolverine's chest. With your blood, we can become daywalkers. He looks at the other vampires, telling them, You will go on as planned. I have a nation to run. And as the vampires leave, some teen vampires sneak into the barn. Holy crap, he is in here! Looks like we got ourselves a juice box. They unhook the block of ice and set it on their snowmobile and begin to take off, and as they drive away, the block of ice begins to bounce and crack, and after so many hits, Wolverine breaks out screaming. The kids ask themselves what they should do now, and as they begin to take off, Wolverine begins to hunt them down. He tackles one off of the snowmobile, popping his claws, and the female teen yells, Don't kill me! We are actually trying to rescue you! The kids explain that they don't want blood. They desire it, but they don't want it. They're rebels to the graves. They're actually eating off animal carcasses. So Wolverine sits down, catching his breath. The kids tell him that they don't know about the other one that arrived a day ago. And Wolverine asks, Who brought me here? Was he big, red, and ugly? The girl tells him no. The one that brought him here is the man in their heads. Like a song you don't want to listen to. Dracula. So later the teens take Wolverine to an abandoned lumber mill, telling their stories, and Wolverine asks, So you thought that my blood could cure you? The girl tells him that it will probably taste better than these moose smoothies they've been drinking. And Wolverine says that he might be able to help them in another way. Maybe they make a stand. But after carving up some of the logs and mounting them to the snowmobiles, Wolverine and the teens begin to ride back to town. As they arrive, Dracula's vampires all stand guard, and they leap into the air, floating, letting them pass. Wolverine jumps off his snowmobile, letting it crash into a truck, and the vampires fly back down and begin to attack the teens. Wolverine launches himself back, but not before the two boys are killed. And as one of the vampires turns to the girl, she hits a button and a blade shoots out of the back, slicing the vampire's head clean off. Wolverine stabs into another one, asking, Why are you doing this? And the woman laughs. Freedom to work night and day. He gave us time through the blood clocks. If we kept you, the rest of our kind would come find you. But we aren't ready for them yet. Wolverine asks, Yeah? Well, time's up. And he crushes the blood clock used to allow her to be a daywalker on her chest. And then he gets up. That's it for you. And Omega Red. And there you have it, the conclusion to issue 5 of Wolverine. Now, I know that we're left on kind of a giant cliffhanger at this moment, and the reason for that is really simple. Wolverine is currently battling against Dracula, who's trying to create his own army with the blood clocks using Wolverine's blood, which will allow them to live in the day and the night so that they can battle against the other vampires. Omega Red is still roaming around, but an event happened in the X-Men books at this moment that pulls Wolverine away. It's known as X of Swords, 10 of Swords, however you want to say it. I'm going to link that series down below, as it is a massive event that Wolverine got pulled away to in the middle of this. In the very next video, we're going to pick up on Wolverine's hunt for the vampires and everything else. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget, this video is voted on by our Patreons, which have also voted on Batman the Animated Series. And if you want to see those series and get to vote on the next 2 series that we're going to be launching right here at the channel, then make sure you go on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. I'll see you next time right here.